Vista City Council work session for October 11th, 2022. I'll call the meeting to order. It's just 3 o'clock. The first item for presentation and discussion is the October 13th council meeting and agenda items. And of course, we'll start that meeting by calling the meeting to order. Roll call, pledge of allegiance, and invocation. We'll do the proclamation. We have a number of proclamations. We got one for Fire Prevention Month, Chief, so you were good. We got another one for October's the National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we have Corporal Boltinghouse is supposed to be there to represent that group. We've got a commission on this. Well, we get next is the last proclamation will be the declaring October Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month, and we have members from Grieving Child, and the last will be a presentation by the Commission on Disability Issues for their Vistability Award, and that will then lead, of course, to the acceptance of the agenda, and then the report for report by the city manager. Chuck, have you got anything you want to share with us tonight before Thursday on the city manager's report?
Yeah, a couple things. First, we got to inform the council that I was informed this morning that longtime city attorney Stuart Fauver passed away over the weekend, and just wanted to let you know that, and our condolences go out to his family. We're not aware of any details yet, but he'll certainly be missed and serve the city for an incredibly long time and served well. So we had that going on. I've got a JPA board meeting for CCOM, and that'll be Thursday morning, so I'll be able to tell you more about that. And then, of course, it'll be normal project updates beyond that.
Okay. And again, I think anybody that worked with Stu knows the impact he had on the city, and we're very sorry to hear that he's passed. And of course, our condolences go out for the family. And normally, when we know about arrangement, we'll send cards, flowers, etc. As a long-time employee to make sure that they're there. And of course, anybody from the city is encouraged to go if the services when they're announced. So that's a loss for the entire community, unfortunately. Next items, we got a couple of public hearing items. Item 2 is the discussion of possible action for resolution for the transfer of a liquor license. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Clerk, if you got anything you want to share with us?
It's council meeting day. Why you got to have a liquor license? Yes. No. This is a pretty straightforward owner transfer of a Series 7, which is a beer and wine bar license for the Goji Barbecue House, LLC, formerly known as the Golden Phoenix Korean and Chinese Restaurant. The notice of the public hearing was posted on the facility, and we have received no comments pro or con from the public. The police department has done their background check and has no objection to this transfer going forward, and if approved Thursday night, it will be sent back up to Phoenix for final approval.
Questions for the city clerk on this item? Okay, we'll move on to item number 3, which is discussion and possible action on program year 2021 Community Development Block Grant Annual Performance and Evaluation Report Paper. And Blake, you going to do this for the boss? Is he going to be here Thursday?
Mayor Mueller, members of council, Matt McLaughlin can't be here today, and he won't be here on Thursday either, so I'll be reading his staff report here.
Okay.
It's fall break week, Mayor.
Okay. Thank you. The program year 2021 Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, the CAPER, describes the activities undertaken during the program year beginning on July 1st, 2021 and ending June 30th, 2022, using federal funds granted to the City of Sierra Vista by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, under the Community Development Block Grant CDBG program. Activities and accomplishments described in this report primarily benefit low-income residents of City of Sierra Vista and neighborhoods with high concentrations of low to moderate income residents. CDBG regulations require that the public be given a 15-day period to review the CAPER and provide comments prior to the approval of City Council. A public notice announcing this availability of the CAPER was published in the Sierra Vista Herald on September 25th, 2022, and copies of the CAPER were made available for public review at City Hall and on the city's website. The public comment period began September 26, 2022, and closed today. No public comments have been received so far. For a brief overview of some of the counts and the funds allocated, starting with economic development, we have about, $171.62. That went to St. Vincent de Paul for environmental review here under economic development. For housing, we have the emergency home repair program with $491.23, which went to public notice fees. For public facilities and improvements, we've got another environmental review for $171.62. That's Good Neighbor Alliance, and the majority of the public facilities fees and of the CAPER fees overall went to parks, recreational facilities, primarily Sears Center Park and the improvements done over there, though $25,000 was allocated for Soldier Creek Park improvements such as pathing. For public services, we have about $59,837.72 that went to COVID-19 relief funds. And for general admin, we have about $1,142.81, totaling out to $527,880.54. And that concludes the staff summary of the CAPER. Thank you.
Any questions? Discussion, comments?
Well, I can tell you, Mr. Mayor, if I may, this is a very, very comprehensive report.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know how Matt does this, and, obviously with your help, sir. It was very, very informative as to what we spend our money on and who it goes to. So thank you very much for all your efforts.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, thanks, Blake. All right, we now move into new business, and we have the approval of minutes for September 8th, 2020. Any comments, questions, concerns, corrections for the minutes?
Is that just the way we're doing it now? Is down in
What's that?
Well, backwards? Yeah, don't we normally?
Well, normally we have one or two.
We had no consent items to
normally
put them with.
Normally, when we have a consent item, it goes up front, but if it's the only one that's on there, it falls in line with all the other resolutions.
So this is the first time.
Well, no, we've done it, this has happened since you've been on council.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
usually it's up front, it's
Yeah,
front loaded.
Thank you. Okay.
Because we could do everybody nods and says yes and we go on,
Right.
okay? And then of course, we have called the public comments and requested council and adjournment. Is there anything else under today's agenda for item 2A? Seeing none, we'll go to item 2B with the executive report. Mr. Patuchik.
Thank you, Mayor Mueller, members of the council. The executive report this month is highlighted by the opening of Station 4, which will be on Friday at 10 a.m. And it's the first time we've been able to dedicate a new building for a while. So it should be a fun time and a good thing in the history of the community. So appreciate that as well. Obviously, there's a lot of stats in here. I did meet with staff regarding boards and commissions last week, and we're getting ready to put a proposal forward for your discussion and dissection here soon. Hopefully, by the November meeting, we should have that proposal to you, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But it's following along the lines of your discussion last time. So that will be coming up as well. And other than that, just really busy as we're going into the fall. So a lot in the report, and happy to answer any of your questions.
Okay, we'll open up for the council. Any questions for Mr. Patuchik on the executive report? Go ahead. Greg. Go ahead.
Yeah, on page 9, we're talking about better bucks here, and I believe that the last time we looked at an executive report, that I asked to find out what the health of the organization was, since we contributed and more or less kicked off this program on behalf of our community. And I don't see any financials here, other than books, so many books bought, so many books
This
distributed.
it's a private organization,
It's a 501c3 to my knowledge.
but it's not, a 501c3 is not a public organization where the city can basically say, give us your books.
I guess that's what your answer is.
Well, that's what my answer is. I don't know what the staff is, because you asked the staff the question.
Well, you're both correct, but I'm sure we have a good enough relationship with the Better Bucks.
Right,
group
I'm
that we can-
just curious of the health of the program, that's all I'm asking.
Well, I know anecdotally that the health is very good, and they didn't come back and ask us for any more seed money this fiscal year, so that's a pretty good indication that financially they're doing okay, and in fact, they are looking to expand their program into what's called, I think, a Better Work program, looking for jobs for people that are, in a bad situation. So I think it's pretty good, but I can certainly endeavor to get the financials for you. I know
Just
Ms.
worried about the health of the
Nickerson and,
organization, that's all I'm worried about.
Corporal Borstadt's involved, so we'll
he's
see
doing
what we
great.
can do.
And Mr. Mayor and Councilmember Johnson, jumping ahead a little bit, but this is relevant. On your October 25th work session, we have a presentation scheduled from Better Bucks and about better work and so on.
Okay.
So
Great.
So they should answer all the questions. So we'll warn them to bring the financials.
give them a heads up.
Yes, sir.
Victoria, I'm sorry, what was the date again?
It's October 25th, Mr. Benning.
That at our regular,
Regular work session.
It should be. Let me double check. Yes, it's the 25th, your next scheduled work session.
Outstanding, thank you. And I don't know if I wanted for
you're on the same subject, right?
the executive report.
No, I mean, because he's actually got the
Oh,
floor.
I'm sorry, no, I'm on
He
a
still got
different
the floor.
subject.
He hit his
I'm
first
sorry.
subject. If you want to go to a different subject.
No, I'm fine.
You done? Are you done?
I'm finished.
You were before me, Mark.
I'm sure we'll get the information that I asked for.
Okay.
Mark was actually before me,
Well,
Mr.
no,
Mayor.
no, go. You got the floor. We'll get Mark in a minute.
I just, I wanted to talk about the Community Connect, but I don't know if I should do it right now on the executive report, because everything here looks good, or ask for a work session to actually see how it's going, the 6-month plan, see what they have in store for the next 6 months, or just be able to talk to the nonprofit that's actually running it and doing it for us.
Sure.
Well, Matt's not here, Mr. Benning, today, but since it correlates pretty well with Better Bucks, so we can ask Matt to give you an update in terms of how that's going at the same
excellent.
work session.
That's
So,
also
yeah,
scheduled.
yeah.
It's
so-
the One-Stop Community Connect Better Work
Outstanding, y'all
program, so it's all.
So you'll get it all at once.
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Rodriguez, please.
Thank you. Just some comments. I really like these. I appreciate you doing these for us, Chuck, and all this data that goes involved. I think it's important for the public to be able to see this and read this. There's a lot of stuff that we get asked a lot of times that's all in here. Not that I don't mind answering people with questions, but a lot of the data that it's easily answered by reading this. And I like that it hits on a lot of things. Obviously, our recruiting problems are everywhere. Just my hats off to our officers and fire department guys. That our call volume keeps going up. If you read this, the volume is going up, and our people are not going up. So they are holding the line there with a very small amount of people. So I really, really appreciate them hanging in there as much as they can, and I know why they're leaving, because I understand that problem there. But I'd like the thought of the civilian hiring on the police side. I know there's been some talks of doing more of that, which I think if that seems to be okay or a good process, then we can go ahead and do that. I like that idea. I like that thought of, well, we have more people that applied for the positions that are available. Let's just keep hiring on that side. If it helps them and it helps keep the officers out doing other things that they can be doing, and non-sworn officers working back in the station, I love that idea. So hopefully that works out, and I hope that helps that recruiting issue or that gap in the meantime. Obviously, we'd all want more officers, more sworn officers, but if we can't get that right now, then that's a good option, I think. The Better Bucks thing, I'm looking forward to that one. That's good. I'm sure that'll be good informational. I like that the animal shelter's in there now. when I went to the community connecting this month, I saw the new book, and it's got the animal shelter in there, which is great because a lot of people that need help there have animals as well. So it's good that they're able to go and take their animals, because if not, unfortunately, they end up there anyway.
Yeah.
So it's a really good preventative measure that I like. I like seeing that in the book now. It wasn't in there before. The secure lockbox program, that thing was, it wasn't really publicized very well, but it sold out. We've done it before with the Knox boxes. The fire department did the Knox box thing. They're a lot bigger boxes. Now it's more like a little realty lock that just goes on your door or your hose bib at your house. And it's not meant for you to give your key out to your neighbors or your friends. It's meant there's an emergency, and the fire department doesn't have to break down your door or break your window to get to. So I'm glad that those things are sold out. The 35 that they had are gone. So that was a really good program. Like I said, that didn't really have to be well publicized a lot because it's already gone. But I know they're going to order more. So hopefully, if you're in need, you'll do the same thing because it really saves your property from being destroyed and things like that. I think that was it that I wanted to touch on this thing. Oh, the housing one. If I'm reading these numbers wrong, it looks like we have maybe I'm right. It says like 117 houses now, according to this math, which is good, right? Up from the teens and 20s that we had before. So I like that number because people ask that as well. So again, appreciate all this information that's in here.
Be better when the prices start going down.
Yeah. So that's all I have for this. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Mayor,
What you're selling.
if I could address a couple of Mr. Rodriguez's questions, mostly regarding recruiting. If I look at public safety as a whole, our most critical area of recruiting is CCOM. That is where we are definitely the shortest and have the hardest time finding recruits. Police department, of course, is an ongoing issue with finding officers, and Chief and I talk a lot about that. The issue coming up in the police department is really going to come next year because some of the retirements that were put on hold as a result of the drop extension will still be coming back to us next year. And we're already talking about contingency planning in the event that we're not able to fill fast enough to meet all of our needs. So we'll let you know more about that as time progresses. Obviously, we'll still continue recruiting as much as we can. In the fire department, we're not getting as many applicants as we used to, although with the program with the college is helping us find recruits. Most of the calls, of course, are EMS calls, and I have authorized additional hiring for EMS personnel for them, and we are able to find people to fill those positions. So we're trying to overfill those to anticipate any turnover we might have. So we're taking care of the fire department as best we can, but the other two are certainly more critical right now.
Thank you.
I have one more comment about the peak hours thing in here, Chief. I know you've been tracking this for a while. Have those remained the same? It looks like between 1,100 and 1,700 hours is always the peak. Tuesday for some reason, I don't know, Taco Tuesday is involved or something here. 11 to 7, is that still a peak considered? Has that been the trend for peak hours, Chief? Or is
Yeah, Mayor Mueller, Councilman Rodriguez, that is the trend, 11 to 8, 11 to 9 o'clock at night, every day of the week, pretty much. And on a monthly basis, it changes. It could be Tuesday, it could be Wednesday, but those are the main hours.
Thank you. That's all I got. I'll shut up now.
Oh, nothing.
Nothing. All right.
Just one more, Mr. Mayor.
Capitalizing on what Councilman Rodriguez said, I'm gonna give a little bit of love to Parks and Rec, because 2 years ago, we may have had two, maybe 3 or 4 events July to August. And we're at like 12 events, all of them are amazing, we're doing good things. So that's 100% on the leadership and the entire staff at Parks and Rec, so I appreciate you.
And we're making money.
And we're making money, yes, sir. I won't say a lot of it, but
Cover expenses.
covering expenses
Yeah.
and having fun doing it.
That's the goal.
Yes, sir. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Dr.
I
Mayor.
really, I always love to go through the executive report, and it breaks things down really nice, and it's really nice to have that breakdown and to see, you know, especially like with Parks and Rec and stuff, all that the community's getting out there and doing things. There's lots of things going on. It's been really great to see that, you know, this year, people getting out there and more events and stuff. So, yeah, it's really nice. Thank you.
It's the new set of eyes. What do you got for us?
It was a great report. Still learning. There's a lot to go through, but I enjoyed reading it, and I understand a lot more because of that. And I get to do some orientation, so they're all putting it together for me. So it's been really nice.
And I know you're aware that if you got questions, you can go to the staff, the primary two right there, as well as you can come see me anytime, and we can sit down and talk about why we're doing the crazy things we're doing instead of a smarter way. I'm more than happy to have those type of conversations with anybody.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments or questions on this item? Discussion? Okay. We now go to item C, report on recent trips, meetings, future meetings. I haven't had any trips out of town, except I did enjoy going to my youngest niece's wedding on Saturday in Texas, and got to see her and her new hubby, and got to play with my great nephews or grandnephews. I don't know what, both of them too, that are her brother's kids. So it was a good family weekend for me, despite the travel. You know, the airlines are not what they used to be. But other than that, anybody comments, questions on future meetings? Trips?
Went to Mexico, that was it.
Mexico sounds pretty good.
I spent some good fun down in the state of Sonora. They support us as well. So kind of an
I
exchange.
saw that.
It's kind of an exchange. I'm glad to do my part.
I saw that.
Okay, then we go on to item D, the future discussion items and council requests, and we've already talked about a couple of them. Can you give us a kind of rundown of what's coming up there?
That's the one I have on my list, Mr. Mayor.
That's all you have on your list? Okay. Anything we missed for future discussion items?
Just today's the last day to register to vote for everybody out there.
Oh, that's right.
Right, the last day, midnight, 11:59 tonight is the last minute. You can register to vote online, in person, as long as it's postmarked by tonight. You're good. So make sure you spread the word to everybody you know. If they're not registered, or they're not sure if they're registered, they can go online and check their status, make sure they're good to go for the general election for everybody of the state of Arizona, November 8th.
Okay, so future, no more items? Anything else to add? Seeing nothing? Meeting's adjourned. Thank you very much.